Hey, howdy, howdy. Hope y'all are doing well. Hey, so I have there's this Latin saying that I had come across, I don't know, maybe in the past couple of years or so, and I absolutely love it, and I talk about it all the time. So it goes, this is butchered, so because I don't know how to speak Latin, but but it goes in stare quinicus and venitar, which means in filth it will be found, which is pretty much this sense of saying, what you most need, not want, but what you most need will be found where you least want to look. And in today's day and age, we have become a society of people that just they don't want to put in the work. And if they do, they put in the most bare minimum. That's what we've been taught for many generations now, is just putting in the bare minimum to, I just have to get at least C's to get through school. Okay, I just have to do the bare minimum of work of, pushing papers at my job so that I can keep a paycheck and I can get by to live for the weekend and whatever else. Great, I'm going to do the bare minimum. And people have kind of, and I mean, from what I've noticed and what I've listened to a lot of other people talk about that they've noticed is that people, we've just lost who we are and what it is that makes us us. And we aren't putting in that effort. We aren't actually striving for anything anymore, which is heartbreaking, to say the absolute least. Because now we've just become a society, a country of mindless, empty beings that are just existing to just get to tomorrow, really, like living paycheck to paycheck of just, following the trail of, whoever's in front of us, whatever we're told to do. We're not thinking for ourselves and stuff. And it's really sad when you think about it. So anyways, my thought process today was, different conversations I have with guys, from teenage boys all the way up to fully grown men, in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And I talked with them about, they just don't know how to take any kind of control of their life because they've been so blindsided and told to just live this narrow life. And so I just wanted to throw out some ideas of stuff that stick with me and that help me get out of this, to get out of this, little mental blockage and that keeps us where we're at. And so some of the ideas is being able to just work on yourself daily. And that's not a simple task. I mean, it's not an easy task. It is simple, but it's not easy. So what does it mean to be able to like work on yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? How much time and effort are you putting into developing yourself and becoming the best you that you can be, right? So Soren Kierkegaard, he has a great quote that goes, "The most common form of despair is not being who you are." You know, who are we on the inside that makes us us? What are our dreams, our desires, our passions, our interests, or all these types of things? No one wakes up and says, I want to go eat McDonald's and just sit on the couch all day and watch TV because that makes me actually happy. It doesn't make anyone happy. It distracts them, and you might enjoy the time at the moment, but not too far down the road, you feel worse. You eat crap food, you're gonna feel like crap. If you go to bed and don't have a good sleep schedule, you're gonna sleep like crap, you're gonna feel like crap for the next day. If all you do is fill your mind with entertainment and distractions, you're gonna mentally feel like crap all the time and be lost like we are in today's society. So many guys are just so lost, and it sucks and I hate seeing it. So I want to get some ideas out there on how you can just work on yourself to just kick yourself into gear. What is something you can do? I'm very guilty of this concept of wanting to have everything ready and in order to be able to finally take the step. I need to know all the information. I need to have spent months and years researching. I need to, have gone through all the schooling and all the X, Y, and Z crap. And the truth is you don't. You don't need a thing. All you need is to take that mental idea of the mindset shift. I want something different. I believe I'm capable of more. I want to achieve more. I believe there's more for myself. Fill in the blank, right? Whenever you finally accept and believe that you are capable of more and you are deserving of more, it's great, but you got to put in the work. If you're sitting there 300, 400 pounds overweight and you're like, man, I really wish I just wasn't, a fat piece of crap that was lazy and did nothing and looked like, a blob. I'd like to not be like that. Great. Awesome. What are you willing to do to get out of there? It's going to be a long journey. It's going to probably take you a couple years, but if you're consistent and dedicated and are willing to put in that time, and it's not intensity, it's consistency. I've talked about this many times. Intensity is great, but you can't be any kind of intense if you don't even know how to just take the first step. You're not going to run if you can't even walk. So, with that, what are some things that you could do? You just take one step at a time forward. What do I need to do? Okay, as I want to go down this new journey of fat loss right now, just weight loss, but fat loss because we want to gain muscle as well. I need to change my eating habits. Okay, huge. One of the most important of all those things is going to be changing your eating habits. So now, if some time you spend, you can listen and learn and research a little bit on some things you can do, and then you take it one step at a time. Okay, well, I know soda and ice cream and all the sugar and cakes and cookies and pastas and breads aren't great for me. So maybe I need to stop eating some certain things. And you start that journey one step at a time. You just stop eating certain stuff. Then you find out, oh, I do need to eat I do need to eat these healthy fats and these meats and vegetables and fruits. Okay, so maybe I start eating more of those. So now you're taking those steps forward. Oh, I need to be moving my body. Okay, maybe I can start walking. Okay, maybe I can get into the gym later on down the after weeks and months and etc. You just build and you just build a linear progression, all right? And it's going to go up and up and up and up. But you have to start with day one and just taking a step forward. So, and all that's going to build on itself. You're not going to be able to know all the information to know everything to do. It's not how it works. And we get caught in that. I get caught in that a lot. And then I realize I just need to take a step forward and just start with something. So, anyways, that's a simple idea behind that. Matthew 15:11 says, what goes into someone's mouth does not defile them, but what comes out of their mouth that is what defiles them. So if wherever you're at, in life and what you think and believe, is what you're consuming, is that what is coming out? Okay. If it is what is coming out a good or a bad thing? And then also by whose definition? Do you think it's good? If you're sitting there playing video games all day, eating crap, doing whatever, watching TV, not being lazy, if you're just filling yourself with entertainment and distractions all day, and then you go out in life and you're like, I don't know about anything. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to think for myself. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to cook scrambled eggs for myself because I'm always ordering takeout, etc. Like fill in the blanks. Can I do any of these basic humane things? The answer is probably no. That's like, okay, what am I feeding myself? What is coming out? And if what is coming out is not good, then I need to change what's going in. Cutting out the processed foods, cutting out the the porn, cutting out the and all the social media, the video games, all the TV, all the crap music, all the fill in the blank. There's a whole lot of things that we're exposed to in our daily life. So is what you're filling yourself with, is that what is coming out? And if so, is it good or bad? And by whose definition? So Soren Kierkegaard has another one that goes, the function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. I like that one because I'm not just talking about prayer and whatnot, which is still, you should do it every day. That should be one of the things that you do every single day. But you have to change who you are. You have to accept the fact that you're not who you are today, right now, is not who you didn't just like pop out and become this one person, and you've been the exact same way your entire life and will stay that same way for the rest of your life. You developed and changed over time. You had certain interests and hobbies, maybe, and then as you got older, then you're like, okay, well, now I don't want to be a space cowboy because I was like 5 years old when I thought I wanted to be that. Now I actually want to be an accountant or something, right? You grow up, you learn some new things, you adjust, you adapt to the new way of life, okay, and who you are. It's the same aspect in every area. You're not just 400 pounds overweight because you just happen to be. You got to that point because of years and a whole lifetime of getting there. Awesome thing is that you can choose to diverge from that. You can go away from being where you're at. You can change who you want to be by starting, by just making the decision that I want to be better. So now I'm going to look and see how I can be better. Who are the people I can listen to? What can I follow? What podcast can I follow and listen to and learn from those people? What book can I read? What steps can I take? What information is out there? There's more information out there that is free than any person could ever go through in 100 lifetimes. All right, there's so much information in the world. So what are you going to be filling yourself with? What steps can you be taking? Because the very simple thing is that we just need to take a step forward. We just need to learn how to that we can even. Let's just accept the fact that we actually can change who we are, where we're at. That goes with everything. That can be your job, your career, your mindset, your family, your thoughts, your actions, how you look, how you feel. Every single thing is in your control, but it's you who have to put in the effort to change those things. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy because if you're in a really low place, it's because you've put in absolutely no work of any kind. And that's what happens when you don't put in any work. That's what happens when you don't get to, so what happens whenever you aren't going to suffer through pain and discomfort of pushing yourself versus the pain and discomfort of just allowing the world to walk all over you, right? There's going to be pain no matter what. There's going to be suffering no matter what. There's going to be discomfort no matter what. Bad things are going to happen no matter what. It's it's in what form is it going to come and how are you going to respond to it and how are you going to let that situation, etc., how are you going to allow that to dictate how you take your next step, right? You want to be on a weight loss journey, great. You start doing it, then you end up having a binge eating night because you stumble and fall. Well, since I did it that one time, that means I can't try again or I can't come back from this. So now I'm going to go back to my old ways and just be whatever, be blah. Or it's, oh crap, okay, I gave in, whatever happened, I fell into my old addictions. Okay, now I saw that that happened. How can I work to not allow that to happen again? So it's these different types of thoughts that you can take, and the time's going to go on no matter what, right? Life is going to happen. You're born and you're going to die at some point. How you die and when is, that's kind of up to you and God pretty much at that point. Do you want to die from diabetes at 35 years old, or do you want to live a longer, healthier life by putting in some time and effort and work? And and the amount of science and psychology and research that is out there on the positive. I mean, I don't know why we even have to study this, but the fact that so much common sense on putting in work and the effort, and then you see the progression and how you become better. You lose the fat. You start to get muscle definition. You feel healthier. You go to sleep better. You're more cognitively aware. All these positive things happen from you putting in this effort, blood, sweat, and tears, by the way. You got to put that in to get to where you want to be. If you want to be a business owner, guess what? It sucks. You got to learn how to be the business owner. You got to learn a whole lot of things about a whole lot of things. And it takes a lot out of you. It really does. But if you want to do that, you got to put in the work. If you want to develop and build a relationship with God, guess what? That doesn't mean you say, okay, I believe in God because, Satan does the exact same thing. He knows and believes in him and he doesn't do what he says. So are you willing to carry your cross? Are you willing to sacrifice that type of discomfort and all the things that the world's going to tell you is, the world's out there to say, this is cool, this is fun, sleep with whoever, eat whatever, just it doesn't matter. Just live your best life. Just be okay. Just be a nice person, give the homeless guy, a McDonald's $5 burger and you're a good person. You're going to heaven. It's not that. That's not even close to how it works. Are you putting in that time and effort to actually build a relationship with the Father? Do you actually know him? Are you willing to, go against what the world says? Because God very specifically says there's him and his word, and then there's the world and what it says and does. And they're polar opposites. So what are you willing to sacrifice? Do you want to sacrifice a little bit of comfort and whatnot, and maybe friends and social media followings and whatever else people deem to be a, a necessity in this life? Are you willing to lose and sacrifice that and then build yourself up into being the best you can be? Or do you just want to make sure that everyone likes you and you just fall under whatever anyone else says, and you have no voice of your own, and you have no spine. So it's things like these kicks. The idea is to kickstart yourself into gear. How can you get closer to whatever your goal is? One step, one thought, just start doing it. When you find out more, then you can go, oh, this is actually isn't exactly true. I need to stop doing that. Let me divert. When I was like a teenager and I started working out, and I was just following all this, whatever was on YouTube. I'm like, oh, if it's on social media, it's got to be true, and everyone's gonna know what they're talking about because oh, he's a big fit guy, so he obviously knows everything he's talking about. And then you follow that stuff, and you find out, okay, well, that's not all true actually, because this person over here actually has that information and this science and these research studies and facts and all this information. So that's not exactly true. Here's a little bit more. And you just live, that's all life. You're going to spend your whole life, finding out information and going in that direction. And then you're going to, gradually go side to side and find out new information. It's going to veer you from what you just heard. Some's going to get you a little bit closer. Life's a roller coaster. It's a never-ending journey of building yourself up. And you can choose on whether you want to actually build yourself up every single day and become better and better and better or not. Anyways, Lord knows I can go on forever, but I hope that was able to be helpful to someone. And I hope the best for you guys. Love and blessings, and I'll see you all next time. All right. So